Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. This is Andy the Novice Modeller, and as you can see we've got the AS42 Sahariana Italeri kit 6530 in front of us, which we have largely built. We just need to throw some paint at it. So we're going to do a heavily edited video of me trying to put some paint and some weathering and detailing this thing up. We're kind of hoping we're going to get something a little bit better than the SAS Jeep that we did way back in February or March or something like that. And so yeah, let's just get this on the way. So what I've done so far is using my gallery airbrush. I've painted this in Army Painter War Paints matte grey all over. I've then added some pre-shading, I suppose you could say, on the upper levels with the matte black, mainly in the sort of darker areas where I'm figuring it's going to be a bit shady. Over these vents, I've painted most of the undersurface in black, because obviously anything that's seen there is going to be in shadow, so it will want to be darker, I suppose. I'm kind of guessing here. So that's where we are with that. We've painted up a lot of the weapons. As we can see, there are two options here, a breeder anti-aircraft gun and this little anti-tank gun. We're going to be using this in the model. We're saving this for another day on something else, so we won't bother painting that up. We'll just decide how to paint that up later. As for colour selection, it requires something called Flat Giallo Mimetico 3 Italeri Acrylic Paint 4645 AP, which I don't have. There is no direct comparison for that I can find. Based on the previous desert warfare things that I've done, which have been in XF60 yellow and XF88 dark yellow, I've decided that they don't look anything like what's on the box, so we won't be using those. So I've gone and picked out this one here, XF59 desert yellow. I'm doing it over the dark light brown because I'm thinking that maybe it'll be slightly different to an African Corps vehicle. And luckily for me, 20 years ago I painted, shine a light, I'm dripping paint all over myself. I painted this yeah, where was I painted this Vespa 20 years ago using this 20-year-old bottle of XF59 desert yellow, and it kind of looks a similar colour to what's on the box, so that's the one we're going to be going for. Once we got the paint on, we're going to be doing a variety of AK weathering paints and washes and what have you on it. So I'm just going to go away, do some painting. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what it looks like, basically. I'm not going to go into doing a video of me painting stuff because I'm sure you guys have seen that all before. You probably know what you're doing anyway. So we painted a load of other parts up and we're going to mix in a couple of other colours. I kind of like doing fabric in khaki, and we'll throw some other colours on the other bits as well. So I've got my birum ready, brewed in Glasgow or Edinburgh with a hint of Italian sea salt. So I'm off to the painting booth now and I'm going to do some painting, and I'll be back shortly to show you how far we've got. See you in a minute. Okay, so we put our first layer of our XF59 desert yellow on, and it's looking quite green at the moment, I must admit, but I'm thinking it will yellow up slightly. So as we can see, we haven't gone overboard with the paint, because I do think I have a tendency in the past to saturate these things, and when I try to do this shading I just obliterate it. So I'm just going easy on this. Done the sand channels, done the wheel hubs, we've done a few other parts that we want to coordinate here. There's a bunch of parts off to the side here, like shovels and seats and things, but I'm going to hand paint those because that's how I normally do this. So under surface, again, it's looking quite dark, so obviously need to put several more layers on, so I'll get on to it. Okay, so we've done our second passing and I'm kind of liking how it's looking. I'm liking the interior with the sort of variation in colours there. I'm liking the darkness of the footwell. So I'm not going to put too much more on now. I'm going to put a lot more on the bottom, or quite a bit more on the bottom front. But I'm going to leave the bottom quite as it is as well, because you've got to remember these things are sort of grey grimy, I suppose. The gun's not looking too bad either, I don't think. a bit concerned I'm going to paint the barrel and the mechanism up on that. We've done our hubs, our sand channels, and a few other pieces. So I'm going to give this a very liberal coating, because I'm kind of liking this sort of gritty washed out look, which seems to be a lot of what people go for. Yeah, I don't know. So I'll give it another go and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so third layer done, and I think I'm going to leave it like that, and I'll tell you why now. I think it's got like a 75-85% paint coverage, and there's still some darkness in areas, but I kind of like it. I like the interior of the floor with the variation. A lot of people go to a lot of lengths with sort of chipping and things like that, and I'm not at that stage yet, but I think that looks pretty good. And I like the variation on the back and the sides and the darkness underneath. And whatever I don't like, I can just throw some of this dusty mud on. I think that's the way we're going to go. Yeah, so I think we're going to do some of these small parts now. So I'll just paint them up and I'll show you what I've done with them, I suppose. And then we might attach a few pieces to it. But yeah, okay. Oh, I mean, the last time I did an Africa Core vehicle, it's not Africa Core obviously, but I mean I did the same sort of black, grey, black, white technique with the undercoat, and I got a very all over, pretty much one colour finish. So I think the less paint the better. And I am surprised at how different the paint looks to the bottle and this, but obviously the more paint you put on, the more it goes to look like that, I suppose. I mean, I'm just clutching at straws here at the end of the day. So I'm going to paint some of these small parts up, like the seats and weapons and spades, and I'll add to this shortly. So see you in a bit. Right, so we're back. Obviously we've got a different beer in front of us, so it's a different day. It's actually around about 10 days since I recorded the last segment you've just seen. So chaos and work. So we've put our paint on and we've painted all our little bits up. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through these little bits quite quickly, and then we're going to start attaching them randomly. What we've done obviously is we painted some of the interior up in dark iron. We did our exhaust in dark iron, quite a sort of washy sort of paint to try and keep some of the deserty colour. We then put some rust streaks by AK onto it, and it's turned out like that, which I think looks pretty reasonable. We've actually painted by hand some of our jerry cans in some slightly different colours, because I kind of like things doing like that. The ones we used were khaki, dark yellow, and dark yellow 2, which are all sort of deserty, sort of dark colours. We've painted our breeder up, and we've got, what the hell did we use here? Metallic grey for the gun itself. We've got the other gun done as well. Ammo can with some slightly silver sides. Got the seats done with grey backs. We've painted up this little wooden box. Done all our pickaxes and tools. We've done our canvas tarp. And they're the parts that basically we're going to put on to finish this video off. There's some parts that are going to go on at the end, like the wheel hubs and tyres. There's some parts here, like these are wheel hub trims, so they need to go on after the wheels, and we've got the mounting points to go on for the sand channels. And obviously we'll be doing away with the anti-tank gun, and we've got a bucket as well, because as you may or may not know, we always stick a bucket on our models, because why the hell not? So we're going to start throwing these parts on, and it'll be edited again, and that'll be the end of the video. And then we'll do another video with some washes, which I'm kind of terrified of, but that's what we're going to do. There might be an alarm going off at some random point over the next half hour, because of something I want to buy on eBay as well. That's how I remind myself. So I'll get ready and we'll start sticking some parts on. Right, so we're actually skipping back through the instructions to do these parts that I've actually left out. So the first part is from section 5, which is the front seat, which needs to go in here. So we'll dab some glue on and we'll get it in place. So I'm actually using CAUK black at the moment because I find it kind of adheres a bit better on paint. So let's put this bit in. So that's in place. So now we're going to skip on to done all that. This forward machine gun mount and the pickaxe. I actually had to drill another hole in here because I wasn't quite sure where the hole went. We'll try a bit of Tammy on this, I think. And that's just going to go in the front there. So that's gone kind of tidily in the front there, he says. It will do in a bit. And now we've got a pickaxe to put on the back somewhere around here. There's no mounting points for it, so it's going to be a case of stick it, hit and hope. So that's on the back there, ready to impale somebody. Now we're skipping on to number 14, and we've got one of these seats. Now these come so you can have them folded and mounted against the wall, or you can have them built like I've done. I'm not quite sure whether that's the right thing to do. I haven't really figured it out, but that's how we've done it. So there we go, that's in. There's a little bit of excessy glue there, which is the black stuff again, but hey ho. It's in the right place. It looks kind of weird, but that's where it's supposed to go. Right, so now we're on 17, which is the same situation, but on the other side. So let's get him done. So there we go. CAUK black, working a treat. So the next job to do is to put this tripod, which is a spare tripod for the machine gun, so you can take it out, but I've come to the conclusion that that's going to impede me putting the tyre in later, so we're going to leave that out. And the next thing to go on is this crowbar, I think. It's going to go across the front here. So we're rocking the tweezers. Oh, it's made a gluey mess. Oh no. Right, so there's a couple of shovels gone on here, which are supposed to go here, but I couldn't quite figure that out, so I've stuck them there. So shoot me. Next off, we've got the canvas tarp to go on, so we'll get that glued in. So there we go, tarp on by the look of it. What else have we got to do? Done then. Ah, the big gun. Right, let's figure that out. CAUK black again. So we got that in. I don't think it needs to be perfectly centre. Next off, we've got the machine gun. Now this can be mounted at the front or at the back, and I'm going with the back. And I'm not going to glue it, I'm just going to slide it in. So then if I change my mind, I can move it. Simples. So pretty much all we've got left to do is we've got a couple of boxes to put in, and we've got to sort out the windscreen visor, which has got a little clear bit put in it, but I've got some masking tape on. So we'll sort these boxes out. Right, so we got those in. We've got the ammo can, which I think is for the anti-aircraft gun at the back. This wooden crate here is actually for the anti-tank gun, but never waste a good box when you get given it. That's my opinion. So all we've got to do now is the canvas covered windshield, which is going to go that way, and it's supposed to go in little holes here, but I don't know how I'm going to get them in. So I'm going to scratch my head for a minute. So unfortunately I've opted for brute force here, and I've cut the little air tabs off, and I've trimmed a very, very small amount of the frame off as well, because that just wasn't fitting in there. So there's obviously some sort of misalignment gone on somewhere. Oh well, never mind. But that's going to go in there now, and I'm just going to use the CAUK black to put it in. Unfortunately, that's going to completely obliterate my rather nice thing, but it's also going to solve the problem that I made a bit of a mess of the paint there, so I suppose it's just going to cover it. So oh well, silver linings and all that. So there we go. That's got the wheels temporarily put on place. It's got the front wheel temporarily put in as well, but that's ready to go and get varnished now. And then next up, at some point during the week, we'll throw some weathering McGubbins at it and just see what it looks like. There's a couple of little bits left to put on, like the bucket, the this thing, and I got a couple of random spades as well, which I painted up, but I didn't see anything on them on the instructions. And we got to do the fixing brackets and the sand channels, which still need a bit of attention. So yeah, there we go. It's actually my birthday today, so hey, I'm 49. Can't wait. And if any of you fine fellas or ladies or otherwise would like to help me celebrate and buy me a coffee, I promise I won't spend it on beer or model kits. You can buymeacoffee.com at the Novice Modeler. There'll be a link in the description bar. I don't normally bother asking for this because it seems like begging, but it's my birthday, so whatever. Thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you shortly with some more fun with the AS42 Sahariana. As always, be seeing you.